Another wasteful means of spending public funds, Mr. Speaker, is what the accountants call Nugatory expenditure. As I said earlier, Nugatory expenditure is avoidable expenditure, penalties, interests, and fines. Mr. Speaker, Kisii County spent 1.7 billion on penalties and fines that could have been avoided. And those are penalties and fines to CPF, Lab Trust, and Lab Fund. Kiambu spent 414 million on penalties and interest. Mr. Speaker, I wish the House could direct that where a county government incurs penalties and interests that are avoidable, then the accounting officers should be surcharged. Personally. Because some people just sit on invoices, they sit on court orders, they sit on statutory contributions and wait for the interest to pile. Mr. Speaker, 1.7 billion in Kisii could do so much instead of lining up the pockets of these fund managers because of interest. Finally, Mr. Speaker, and these are what I call outright illegalities, unaccounted expenditure. The analysis of the Parliamentary Budget Office is that unaccounted expenditure in that year was 157 million. And Mr. Speaker, unaccounted expenditure is what it is. It is money has left the county, but there is nothing to show for it. Tharaka Nithi, 76 million, was charged on the retention account, but there was no evidence that it was used to settle retention and deposits as required by law. Tana River, 37 million, was used on fuels and motor vehicles, but there was no evidence of the vehicles having been bought. Wajir, 18 million to buy laptops and printers, but there was nothing to show. Isiolo, 17 million to buy equipment for an emergency unit, but there was nothing to show. Mr. Speaker, this we must call it what it is. It is theft. It is across the board, honorable senators. And I want you to look at those reports and you will be able to see what is going on. Mr. Speaker, the other fiduciary risk,
Mr.
Senators.
Speaker.
I don't know why they are jittery when I talk about the misdeeds of their governors. I am going to spill more.
Senator,
Mr. Speaker.
Chair, I think it's because you said finally, so you know they want to hear more, especially from their counties.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the other problem, the other fiduciary risk, and as I look at the other fiduciary risk, I'll give examples of other counties. Mr. Speaker, the other fiduciary risk identified by the Parliamentary Budget Office is pending bills. The total stock of pending bills, as per the Auditor General's report, and Mr. Speaker, we have a problem because the Control of Budgets report does not agree with the Auditor General's report. And county governments sometimes cannot tell you what the exact pending bill is because they have set up task forces which then review the work of previous task forces. But according to the reports of the Auditor General, pending bills increased from 163 billion in the prior year to 179 billion Kenya shillings in this financial year. Nairobi leads the pack with pending bills worth 118 billion. Kiambu follows with 6.3 billion. Mombasa, 4.4 billion. Machakos, 4.1 billion. Bungoma, 3.5 billion. And yet, Mr. Speaker, this House passed what we call the Ledama motion that gave directives or directions on county governments on how to deal with pending bills. To date, we have not seen implementation of those very clear resolutions. Mr. Speaker, 24 counties have pending bills above 1 billion Kenya shillings. Now, the problem is that they are not doing age analysis. Because if you do age analysis, you might realize that some of the pending bills are 5 years and older. An example is Kirinyaga. Kirinyaga had a pending bill stock of about 1 billion. 500 million was 5 years old and above. It means that the governor has chosen to pay contractors in the current period and has decided that the Ndadi contractors or the contractors of the previous administration will not be paid. And sometimes governors say that they can't pay, they won't pay. forgetting that if there was someone with a valid claim, someone who did work, they can go to court and they can force a charge against that county. And that is why we said that the fiduciary risk in county governments far exceeds their revenue at 500 billion because of these things like mismanagement of pending bills.